Chicago, a city famous for skyscrapers, crime stories, million-dollar views, and some hotels with stories you probably never heard. But which hotels are actually worth knowing? What if the hotel you entered had hosted presidents, gangsters, movie stars, and even survived the Great Chicago Fire? This is Hidden Files Official, where we open the doors to the world's most fascinating hotels and uncover the stories hidden inside. Let's begin today's journey. Number 10. LondonHouse, Chicago. Look at this building. It doesn't look like a normal hotel, and that's because it wasn't built as one. The building dates back to 1923, when it was known as the London Guarantee and Accident Building. It became one of the famous skyscrapers around the Michigan Avenue Bridge. But wait, its story gets even better. Decades ago, the building was connected to LondonHouse, a famous jazz club. Legends like Oscar Peterson, Sarah Vaughan, Ramsey Lewis, and other jazz stars performed there. Imagine sitting downstairs, drinking a cocktail, while some of the greatest jazz musicians in America are playing just a few feet away. Aw, what a time. Today, the building has been transformed into a luxury hotel with 452 rooms, and its biggest weapon? The rooftop. 3 levels, massive city views, and the Chicago River right outside. Rooms can start around $300 a night, depending on the date. But here's the crazy part. You're not just sleeping in a hotel, you're sleeping inside a piece of Chicago's entertainment history. And now, let's move to a hotel where presidents once slept. Number 9. The Blackstone. This hotel has a nickname, the Hotel of Presidents. And seriously, it earned it. The Blackstone opened in 1910, designed by Benjamin Marshall and Charles Fox. The project cost about $3 million at the time. But this wasn't just another luxury hotel. Presidents stayed here. Theodore Roosevelt, Franklin D. Roosevelt, John F. Kennedy, and many others. But then, politics got really interesting. In 1920, Republican leaders gathered inside the Blackstone. Behind closed doors, Warren G. Harding was chosen as the presidential nominee. The famous phrase, "smoke-filled room," became connected to that event. No way. And the hotel has another dark connection. It was associated with famous Chicago mob figures, including Al Capone. Then Hollywood arrived. The Blackstone appeared in movies, including The Untouchables and The Color of Money. Today, rooms can start around $330 to $350 a night, depending on the date. So you're not just booking a room, you're checking into a hotel where American politics once changed behind closed doors. But if you think that's impressive, wait until you see number 8. Number 8, the Drake. Imagine arriving in Chicago in 1920 and seeing this enormous luxury hotel standing at the beginning of Michigan Avenue. That's the Drake. It opened on New Year's Eve in 1920, and around 2,000 of Chicago's richest citizens were invited to celebrate. The building cost around $10 million, including land and furnishings. That's an enormous amount for that era. Inside, elegant rooms, luxury suites, lake views, and the famous Palm Court. Over the years, the Drake welcomed politicians, celebrities, and wealthy travelers, and Hollywood loved it too. You may recognize the hotel from My Best Friend's Wedding. Yes, that Julia Roberts movie. And here's something cool. The hotel has 537 rooms and 74 suites. So this isn't some tiny historic property. It's a giant piece of Chicago history that is still operating today. Current rates can start around $250 a night, depending on the date. But honestly, the best part is walking into that lobby and realizing you're standing inside a hotel that's been watching Chicago change for more than a century. And now, we're leaving the old Chicago behind, because number 7 is completely different. Number 7. Park Hyatt, Chicago. This one is special because Park Hyatt Chicago wasn't just another Hyatt hotel. It was the first Park Hyatt. The hotel opened in 1980, and the brand itself was developed under Hyatt's luxury strategy. Its location? Right beside Chicago's famous water tower. So imagine waking up, opening the curtains, and seeing one of the city's most recognizable recognizable landmarks. Inside, it's much more intimate than those giant mega hotels. Only around 182 rooms, luxury suites, an indoor pool, spa, fine dining, and huge city views. It's also been a favorite among celebrities and wealthy travelers. But here's the interesting part. Park Hyatt's whole idea was never about screaming luxury. It's about quiet luxury. No giant gold palace, no crazy decorations, just expensive materials, beautiful design, and service that makes you feel like everything has already been taken care of. Current rates can start around $650 a night, and that's before you start looking at the serious suites. Oh man. Chicago outside your window, luxury inside, and one of the city's most famous landmarks downstairs. But next, we're going into a hotel built inside one of the world's most unusual skyscrapers. Number 6, the Langham Chicago. Now this is crazy. You're not simply staying at the Langham, you're staying inside a building designed by Ludwig Mies van der Rohe. The tower was completed in 1972 as the IBM building. It has 52 floors, but the Langham occupies the lower floors. The hotel opened in 2013, and here's the beautiful part. The building's architecture wasn't destroyed to create a luxury hotel. Instead, the hotel was designed around it. Even Mies's grandson, architect Dirk Lohan, worked on the lobby. That's architecture history meeting modern luxury. Inside, you'll find elegant rooms, suites, a spa, indoor pool, and river views. And the building itself has appeared in movies. It was used in The Dark Knight. So yes, you can literally sleep inside a building connected to Batman's Chicago. Seriously? Current rates can start around $620 to $650 a night. But here's the real attraction. At night, the Chicago River is glowing below you. The skyscrapers surround you, and you're sleeping inside one of Mies van der Rohe's masterpieces. That's not just a hotel room, that's a Chicago experience. But we're not done. The next hotel reaches even higher, way higher. Number 5, the St. Regis Chicago. Look up. Seriously. This building looks like 3 towers stacked into one giant sculpture. That's the St. Regis Chicago. Designed by architect Jean Gang and Studio Gang, the building rises about 1,198 feet. That's 101 floors. And here's the mind-blowing fact. It's the tallest building in the world, designed by a woman. The structure was originally known as Wanda Vista. Construction began in 2016. It was completed in 2020, and the St. Regis Hotel opened in 2023. Inside, luxury rooms, huge suites, indoor pool, spa, fine dining, and those insane skyline views. You could literally wake up hundreds of feet above Chicago and watch the city move below you. Current rates can start around $670 a night. But here's what makes this hotel different. You're not looking at Chicago's skyline from the hotel. You are part of the skyline. No way. And if you think that's the ultimate modern luxury, number 4 has a completely different personality. Number 4, Waldorf Astoria Chicago. This hotel feels like Chicago decided to build a luxury Parisian mansion and put it in the middle of the city. The Waldorf Astoria opened in 2009 in the Gold Coast area. The design was inspired by classic French architecture. Inside, fireplaces, elegant rooms, luxury suites, indoor pool, spa, and some very serious dining. But the real experience starts when you enter the room. Many spaces have that residential feeling. It doesn't feel like you're sleeping in a giant hotel. It feels more like you're staying inside an extremely expensive Chicago apartment. And then there's the location. Oak Street, Michigan Avenue, luxury shopping, Lake Michigan. Everything is right outside. Current rates can start around $600 to $630 a night. But here's the catch. The basic room is one thing. The high-end suites are another universe. Imagine waking up, ordering breakfast, looking out over Chicago, and realizing the room itself costs more than some people's monthly rent. Aw, that's luxury. But number 3, this hotel has a history that survived fire, rebuilding, and almost an entire century of Chicago's transformation. Number 3, Palmer House. This one is legendary. The story begins with Potter Palmer. He gave the original Palmer House to his wife, Bertha, as a wedding gift. Yes, a hotel as a wedding gift. The first Palmer House opened in 1871, and then disaster struck. Only 13 days later, the Great Chicago Fire destroyed it. Everything was gone. But Potter Palmer didn't quit. He borrowed an enormous amount of money and rebuilt. Workers even worked through the night using special lighting. The new Palmer House opened in 1873, and the story gets even crazier. The hotel helped create something you probably ate as a kid, the brownie. Bertha Palmer wanted a special dessert for the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition. The hotel's pastry chef created the famous chocolate treat. Seriously? A hotel helped create the brownie? The Palmer House also welcomed famous guests like Mark Twain, Oscar Wilde, Ulysses S. Grant, and generations of presidents. Hollywood came too. The hotel appeared in The Fugitive, Curly Sue, and Miracle on 34th Street. Today, rooms can start around $300 a night, but when you walk into that massive lobby, you're not just entering a hotel, you're walking into more than 150 years of Chicago history. And somehow, the hotel survived when almost everything around it burned. But now, only 2 hotels remain, and the next one is pure modern luxury. Number 2, Four Seasons Hotel Chicago. Now imagine this. You wake up, walk to the window, and Lake Michigan is right there. No traffic, no noise, just the Chicago skyline and water. That's the Four Seasons. The hotel has been part of Chicago's luxury scene since 1985. Its location puts you right near the Magnificent Mile and some of the city's most expensive shopping. Inside, luxury rooms, large suites, indoor pool, spa, fine dining, and service designed around the smallest details. This is the kind of hotel where you don't have to ask twice. Need something? Someone is already handling it. Want privacy? You've got it. Want the city? Step outside. Current rates can start around $620 a night. And yes, suites can go much higher. But here's the thing. Four Seasons doesn't need a crazy story to impress you. The luxury is the story. It's quiet, it's polished, it's expensive. And when you walk out onto Michigan Avenue, Chicago's best shopping is basically at your door. But now, we've reached number 1. And this is the hotel that many people consider the definition of luxury in Chicago. Number 1, the Peninsula Chicago. This is where things get serious. The Peninsula Chicago opened in 2001, and from day one, it was built around one idea: luxury without compromise. The location is prime, right near Michigan Avenue. Inside, elegant rooms, massive suites, a luxury spa, indoor pool, fine dining, and views across the city. But here's what separates the Peninsula: technology, service, space. Even the standard rooms are designed to feel more like luxury residences than normal hotel rooms. And then you reach the suites, a completely different world. Huge living spaces, dining areas, luxury bathrooms, and Chicago outside every window. The hotel has also become a regular choice for celebrities, wealthy travelers, and major events. And when you look at current prices, you'll understand the word luxury. A one-night stay can start around $740, depending on the date. And premium suites? They can go far beyond that. But here's the question: is it worth it? Well, if you want a cheap place to sleep, absolutely not. But if you want the full Chicago luxury experience, this is the kind of hotel where the room is only part of the experience. The real luxury is the service, the location, the view, and that feeling when you walk through the doors and everything suddenly feels effortless. So, which one would you choose? The historic Palmer House? The presidential Blackstone? The movie-famous Drake? The Batman-connected Langham? The futuristic St. Regis? Or the ultra-luxury Peninsula? Chicago has hundreds of hotels, but these 10 tell something much bigger. They tell the story of the city itself: fire, money, politics, architecture, Hollywood, luxury, and a little mystery. And this is only Chicago. Next, we're taking this journey to another city, another skyline, another group of hotels. And believe me, some of those stories are even crazier. This is Hidden Files Official. Stay curious.